Snore Lord. I'm gonna change her name in my phone to that.
Chris had put in the work. No one could deny that. After years of struggling with his weight and all the health complications that came with it, he had finally earned the right to move forward. He'd made real progress and was now facing the next big step, surgery. But it wasn't without risk. A procedure like this came with a lot of uncertainty. One of the biggest dangers was that the blood supply might not reach the areas where it was needed, and if the blood flow failed, the skin could die. That was a terrifying possibility. Even the anesthesia alone was a huge risk, especially in Chris's case. He had lung issues and a complicated medical history that made even basic procedures dangerous. Everyone was worried, and for good reason. There was no way to know for sure how his body would react. Meanwhile, Tammy was dealing with things in her own way. They were out at a local farm when she made a joke, motioning to the cow nearby and saying, "Tammy got our cow friend now," before adding, "Oh well, I ate his cousin for lunch." It was typical Tammy humor, dark and a little twisted, but it made people laugh. Then she followed it with, "A life." But he tasted good. Beneath the jokes, though, there was something much deeper going on. Tammy had changed. Since going to rehab, she had lost 400 pounds, an incredible accomplishment. That weight loss gave her back a life she had once thought was out of reach. She could do things she never dreamed of before. "People really do take the small things for granted," she said thoughtfully. "Just being able to cross your legs or put on your shoes. I can sit on the toilet comfortably now. I've never been able to do that before." But not everything was easy. The massive weight loss came with another problem: excess skin. It hung from her body in folds, heavy and uncomfortable. "How much do I have now?" "Too damn much," she said bluntly. The skin caused constant irritation. She got rashes on her stomach, and those rashes could turn into infections. It also affected how she walked. Even though her mobility had improved, she often walked bow-legged because the skin dangled and got in the way. "I'm not trying to be nasty," she said, "but that's the truth." She was hoping she'd be approved for skin removal surgery. Soon, despite everything, she tried to keep her sense of humor. At one point, as she stood near the cow, it bit her. "Ow! The cow bit me," she shouted, half laughing and half shocked. But even laughter couldn't cover up the emotional scars she was carrying. The loss of her husband Caleb was still fresh. "Since Caleb passed, everything's changed," she admitted. "I miss him so much." She had his ashes made into a ring and a necklace so that she could keep him close. "It feels like I'm still connected to him in some way," she said softly. "Sometimes I smell his cologne. And every now and then, if you're watching close, my hair will move behind my ear like he's there." She paused, then smiled faintly. "I know how it sounds, but I think he's still around. He just wanted me to be happy." Kami, too, was going through a major life shift. "Today's the day. I'm finally doing it. I'm moving home," she said with a sense of determination. She was packing her things, ready to leave Tammy's house and return to her own. It was bittersweet. "Damn, did you give me the heaviest one?" she joked, struggling to lift a box. Amanda was helping her with the move. "She's the stronger sister, after all," Amy teased with a grin. But underneath the jokes was something more serious. Being back in her own house stirred up a lot of painful memories. "It's hard," she admitted, "just seeing all the memories that happened in this house. Honestly, I think I have PTSD." The house was filled with reminders of Michael. Every room brought back something, some good, some painful. "I want to get rid of these couches. They remind me of Michael. I can't stand them anymore. I need them gone," she said firmly. Amanda tried to be encouraging. "You're going to have to make new memories here." "That's the only way to shove the bad ones out." Amy nodded. "I'm trying. I really am. But it's tough." She knew that healing was going to take time. "When it comes to Michael, I still have a long way to go," she confessed. So for now, she was focusing on herself, her mental health, her physical health, and how she looked on the outside. I want to change my hair color, get new hair, get rid of this excess skin. I just want to feel better in my own body, she said. I feel like a deflated balloon right now. But she wasn't giving up. Eventually, I'll get there. I'm going to find a way to love myself.
Being on the other end of a intervention kind of thing isn't easy to deal with.
There are moments in life when people face setbacks, fall, and want to give up. But what defines strength is the ability to stand back up and keep moving forward. That's something not everyone understands, and it was becoming painfully clear during the conversation. She didn't have the mindset that you have to take the good with the bad. That growth doesn't come in a straight line. Life is full of ups and downs, victories and failures, and every step matters. Amy tried to explain her view calmly, insisting that she wasn't refusing to exercise or putting in the work. She simply didn't want to turn this into a competition. I'll work out with you, she said. I'll motivate you. Whatever you need, I'll be there. But I'm not making it a competition. Her tone was firm but gentle. I'm proud of every one of you, she added. Even when you fail, I'm still proud. Because even if someone only loses 1 pound, that's still a win. That's still progress. But not everyone was ready to hear that. Tension quickly built up in the room. Voices were raised, especially when someone yelled right in her ear. Amy, clearly overwhelmed, stood up. I'm just going to leave, she said. Her face was tight with frustration. The conversation was no longer about fitness or motivation. It had turned personal. As she left, she muttered to herself, barely able to keep it together. What the hell did she just say to me? She asked, eyes wide with disbelief. She didn't call you anything, someone tried to explain. Tammy's anger was rising. She felt unheard, disrespected, and pushed aside. She wouldn't even let me talk, she said. So she chose to walk away instead of escalating it into a fight. Since the Florida fiasco, she reflected later. I've learned sometimes it's better to walk away before it turns into something bigger. Inside, though, the tension didn't end. Chris tried to explain, tried to make peace. I was going to say, he began, before I got cut off. I kind of understand where Amy is coming from. But the mood had shifted. Amanda, arms crossed, glared across the room. Why are you giving me that look? She snapped. This is my house. When I come to your house, I don't give you attitude. Voices started to rise again. Don't do that. Don't do that, someone repeated. But the volume kept climbing. This is what I was talking about. Amanda finally exploded. Get out of my house, she yelled. You're damn straight! And pack your shit when you leave. The argument had crossed a line. No one was holding back anymore. You've got your nerve, Amy shot back. Yeah, I do. And I'm done. I've bent over backward for this family. Her voice cracked with emotion and exhaustion. Been treated like shit for no reason. Been good to everyone. And I'm not going to tolerate being disrespected in my own home. Tears were forming now, anger turning to pain. I'm tired of taking care of your damn kids. Make it make sense, Brittany. Make it make sense. The room fell silent for a moment before someone added coldly, well, when y'all are having your little barbecues every weekend, be sure to FaceTime me. Because I won't be here. Moments later, Amanda announced something no one saw coming. Where the hell are you guys? She said, her voice tight and serious. I'm leaving Kentucky. I'm out. The room paused, shocked. I'm moving to Florida, she finally said. She had been seeing someone, his name was RJ, and he lived down there. Their long-distance relationship had been going on for several months, but the distance was starting to wear them down. I feel like RJ Dodd is the one, Amanda admitted. But this long-distance thing, it's not working. In order to move forward, we need to be together. But her decision wasn't just about love. It was also about escape. With all the shit that's been going on in this family, all the drama, I'm drained. I'm just done. I need peace. The announcement. sent shockwaves through the family. Chris, always the peacekeeper, looked devastated. I don't like this at all, he said softly. She'll be 15 minutes from the beach, sure, but that's 15 hours from us. He had made a family dinner, hoping it would bring everyone together. Instead, it had become a turning point. Amanda moving is going to be a big loss, he added. And I worry it's going to tear us apart for good. He looked at Amy, who was clearly holding back tears. You all right? He asked gently. No, she whispered. The reactions were mixed. While some were heartbroken, others were detached. Amanda's moving? Bye, someone muttered. A less shit I have to deal with. Amy tried to hold it together, wiping her eyes. Dry your eyes, someone told her. Life happens. It's going to be all right. Later, Amy tried to distract herself with something completely different: genealogy. Hi, Brad, she said, greeting the genealogist who had come to help uncover her family roots. You must be Amy, he said, smiling. You told me you had blue hair. She laughed. Yeah, that's the only way people recognize me. Now that the expert was there, she was hopeful he could put an old family rumor to rest, one that claimed they were related to the Queen of England. I think that's the biggest crock I ever heard, Amy said, shaking her head. But Brad had done his research. To get back to your family, he said, we had to go back almost 500 years. That caught everyone's attention. One of your ancestors was a guy called Sir Thomas Clarke, born in the 1520s, he said. And if there's a Sir, that means he was a knight. The room lit up. Wow. They all said in unison. The idea that they were descended from a knight was thrilling. I've always wanted to put on a real knight's armor, someone joked. Even if it's rusty, I don't give a damn. But, Brad continued, have you found any connection to the royal family? There was a pause. Not yet, he admitted. But to be a knight, he probably came from nobility. A few generations back, there may well have been royalty. That was enough to keep the dream alive. See, I knew we had some big heads for a reason. Someone laughed. Speak for yourself, came the reply. I was speaking mostly about Amanda. Brad then went on to explain that Sir Thomas Clarke's grandson, John Clarke, was their 9 times great-grandfather. He was a pilot, Brad explained. You mean like a ship pilot? Amy asked. It's like ocean, not airplane. Brad nodded. Well, in 1575, there were no airplanes. The room burst out laughing. I'm blonde, don't judge, Amy said. I think it's the jet lag, someone teased. Or maybe just her being hurt. Chris chuckled. Them blonde roots. Run deep. Maybe too deep. Brad explained what a pilot did in the 16th century. They didn't just navigate by the stars. They were responsible for getting ships safely in and out of ports, keeping the crew and passengers safe. It was an important job. The navigator, he explained. It's like the ship's GPS. But the pilot, he's the one with the experience to get you through the tricky parts.
He lives in Florida. I definitely feel like RJ is the one, but long distance is not working.
Some people just don't have the mindset it takes to see life for what it really is. A blend of the good and the bad, victories mixed with setbacks. You're going to fall, you're going to mess up, but the real strength is in choosing to get back up and keep going. That's what growth looks like. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. That's what Amy was trying to say, trying to get across in the middle of what had quickly become an emotionally charged conversation. She made it clear she wasn't against working out or putting in the effort. In fact, she welcomed the idea of exercising with her family, of being there as support, as motivation. I'm not making it a competition, she said firmly. Y'all can, and that's fine. Still work out with you. I'll cheer you on, I'll do what you need, but I'm not making it a race. Because I'm proud of each and every one of you. Even when you fail, I'm proud. It's not about failing. If anyone loses even just 1 pound, they've still won. 'Cause that's 1 less pound than before. She wasn't trying to get out of the work. She was trying to protect the emotional side of the journey, because comparing progress often leads to shame and resentment. Encouragement. But before she could finish, voices started rising. Someone shouted near her ear, and the tone flipped. Fast from discussion to confrontation. Amy, overwhelmed, stood up. "You were yelling right in my ear," she said, visibly frustrated. I'm just going to leave. There was no space to talk, no space to breathe. "Have your way of coping," she muttered, shaking her head, and tried to walk away with dignity. But the anger inside her was bubbling. "The hell did she just say to me?" she asked, half in disbelief. Someone tried to calm her. "She didn't call you anything," but Amy's face said otherwise. She felt silenced, dismissed, like she wasn't even being heard. She wouldn't even let me talk, she said. So I walked out. And I don't regret it. Since the Florida fiasco, I've learned sometimes it's just better to walk away before it turns into something worse. Inside the house, the tension didn't ease. Chris attempted to explain his side, trying to play peacemaker. I was going to say before I got cut off, he started. "I kind of understand where Amy's coming from." But by then, the room had already turned sour. Amanda shot a sharp look across the room. "Why are you giving me that look?" she asked, voice icy. "This is my house. When I come to your house, I don't give you attitude." She was defensive and clearly agitated. "Don't do that," someone said, trying to defuse the situation. But the shouting only escalated. "This is exactly what the hell I was talking about," Amanda snapped. "Get out of my house. You're damn straight. And pack your shit out of your house, too." Voices overlapped. Anger spilled out from every corner. Let it go. This ain't the time. But Amanda wasn't backing down. "Cool, got your nerve," Amy fired back. "Yeah, and I'm using it," Amanda replied without hesitation. "Get out of my house. And don't come back." It was a breaking point. The things said next came from a place of pain, exhaustion, and years of pent-up resentment. "No, I'm not the one running around acting like I ain't got responsibilities," Amanda said. "You got divorced and now your ass is about to be homeless." Amy looked stunned. "Yeah, I'm sure I will be," she said, voice breaking. "Tired of bending over backwards for this damn family," Amanda said, her hands trembling. "This is my house. I don't give a damn. I'm sick of it. I've been treated like crap for no reason. I've done nothing but try to be good to everyone. And now I'm done. I will not tolerate being disrespected in my own house." Then came the final blow. "You want to give me attitude? I'm tired of taking care of your kids. Make it make sense, Brittany. It makes sense." Silence followed, thick and ugly. No one knew what to say. The only sound was the tension, heavy in the air. Amanda stood up tall, her voice cold and clear. "Well, when you all are getting together every weekend, doing your little barbecue parties, be sure to FaceTime me because I will not be here." Hours later, she broke the news officially. "Where the hell are you guys?" she said into her phone. "I'm leaving Kentucky." "I'm out." The silence was deafening. "I'm moving to Florida," she added. It wasn't a rumor or a maybe. Anymore, it was real. She explained that she'd been seeing someone named RJ for several months now. "He lives in Florida," she said, "and I really feel like he's the one." But the long-distance relationship was wearing thin. "We can't keep doing this," she explained. "If we want to see where this relationship can go, we need to be together." But RJ wasn't the only reason she was leaving. Not just about love, it's about peace. "This family has drained me. I'm at a point in my life where I need space. I need silence. I need peace." Chris didn't take it well. "I don't like it," he said, shaking his head. 15 minutes from the beach. It's fine, but that's 15 hours away from us." He had made a home-cooked meal that night, hoping to bring the family together, to reconnect them. But Amanda's decision seemed to splinter things even more. Her leaving. "It's going to be a big loss," he admitted. "And I'm scared it's going to be what tears this family apart. For good." Amy sat silently, trying to process it all. "You all right?" someone asked gently. "No," she whispered. She wasn't. Everyone was taking the news hard in their own way. Some were emotional. Others put up walls. Amanda's moving. Someone said, "Bye. That's one less headache I have to deal with." It was cold, but it wasn't entirely without reason. "Kami, dry your eyes." Someone said, "Life happens. We'll be okay." But it didn't feel okay. It felt like another fracture in a family that already had too many cracks. Later, to lighten the mood and maybe reconnect with something deeper, Amy decided to meet with a genealogist named Brad. "Hi, Brad. I'm Amy," she said, shaking his hand. "You told me you had blue hair," he joked. "Oh, yeah," she laughed. "That's how most people recognize me." She was hoping to finally settle an old family myth, one that claimed they were somehow related to the Queen of England. "Honestly," she said, "I think that's the biggest crock I ever heard." Brad smiled. "Well, I've got a story for you," he said. "To get back to your family roots, we had to go almost 500 years into the past. That alone got everyone's attention. One of your ancestors," he continued, "was a man named Sir Thomas Clarke. Born in the 1520s, and if he's a sir, that means he was a knight." There were gasps. "No way," Amy said, eyes wide. Wow. The idea that they descended from a knight thrilled everyone. "I've always wanted to wear a full knight's armor," someone said. "Even if it's rusty, I don't care." "Have you found a connection to the royal family?" someone asked eagerly. Brad shook his head. "Not yet," he said. "But to be a knight back then, he probably came from nobility. A few generations back, there may well have been royalty." It was enough to keep the fantasy alive. "I knew. We had big heads for a reason," someone joked. "Speak for yourself," came the playful reply. "I was mostly talking about Amanda." Brad went on to explain that Sir Thomas Clarke's grandson was John Clarke Kamy's 9 times great-grandfather. "He was a pilot," Brad said. "Like a ship's pilot?" someone asked. "Yeah, in the 1570s, there weren't airplanes." Brad smiled. "I'm blonde, don't worry." Amy laughed. "Must be the jet lag," Chris added with a chuckle. "Nah, it's just those blonde roots running deep." Brad clarified that a pilot in the 16th century was responsible